Seoul, a city of blinding neon efficiency, a perfect machine running on schedule 24 hours a day. But perfection, like any elaborate facade, requires absolute concealment of its flaws. For decades, the millions who ride the intricate subway system every day glide seamlessly over a singular, terrifying anomaly, a phantom stop. A gap in the grid where the timetable makes a silent, unnerving jump, ignoring the space between two major terminals. We are not talking about a closed station. We are talking about a station that was meticulously, violently scrubbed from official history, leaving behind only whispers and the cold dread of absence. Tonight, we descend into the infrastructure of fear, seeking the place Seoul tried to erase and the chilling reason why.
The official record is a lie built on weak foundations. They claimed it was purely economic, a station built too close to another, rendered obsolete by poor passenger flow. They say it was sealed and forgotten shortly after construction in the late 1970s. But those excuses fail the test of reality. Subway tunnels, even abandoned ones, are valuable real estate. Why was this one section walled off with reinforced concrete so dense it defied demolition? Why do experienced motormen report a sudden, inexplicable drop in signal strength and a momentary spike of profound cold as they pass through that specific silent stretch? The resources poured into its erasure far exceeded the cost of simple neglect. This wasn't an oversight, it was a containment protocol.
The urban legend started immediately, evolving from gossip into absolute dread. Workers disappeared during the sealing process. Not one or two, but entire specialized teams vanished without a trace, their emergency beacons going silent right above the tunnel section. Passengers riding the late-night trains began reporting a brief, agonizing scream echoing through the carriage just as they passed the blocked spot. Sometimes they see movement, a shape too tall, too gaunt, reflected momentarily on the safety glass of the train door. These aren't the ghosts of the lost, but perhaps the lingering effect of whatever required the station to be built, and then instantaneously entombed. The city didn't just close the station, they caged something inside it. Our journey begins not underground, but in the dusty, temperature-controlled quiet of the National Rail Archives. Years of digging led to a single brittle folder, misfiled under structural anomalies. Inside, faded ink revealed the truth. The station had a name, Gongchang, and the logs indicated it was operational for precisely 36 days. The last entries are not about economics or passenger counts. They are handwritten, frantic reports mentioning unstable geometries and the persistence of non-Euclidean movement observed on the platform. The final log entry, dated August 12th, simply states, "The light is wrong. It waits for the 4 a.m." This is the only physical proof left, a fading scream chopped on paper, confirming that whatever happened at Gongchang was terrifyingly sudden and completely existential.
The descent is a deliberate act of transgression. We've gained access through a decommissioned service access shaft, miles away from the main tunnel. The air immediately changes, heavy, cold, and laced with the smell of wet concrete and something else, something metallic and burnt, like ozone. We are forced to navigate the maze of maintenance passages, ignoring the active rumble of modern trains passing 50 feet below us. The closer we get to the mapped location of Gongchang, the more the natural echoes of the tunnel die. Sound, light, movement, all seem to be swallowed by the density of the surrounding earth, preparing us for the absolute, horrifying silence that awaits at the forbidden platform.
We reach the primary service tunnel connecting to the sealed line. Here, the air doesn't just feel cold, it feels actively hostile. Our instruments immediately register abnormal readings, magnetic fields spiking and falling, and the Geiger counter ticking sporadically, hinting at some unknown decay. Then the sound begins. Not the sound of a train, but a rhythmic, wet scraping, too slow to be a rat, too deliberate to be simple settling. It seems to originate from the main tunnel ahead,
a sound of heavy weight being dragged across concrete. We halt. This anomaly suggests that the station may be sealed to the public, but it is far from uninhabited. Whatever the city trapped here is still moving, still using the silent trackbed for its own horrific purposes.
We breach the final wall, a thin, brittle section of brick hiding the entrance to the platform itself. The air rushes out, smelling like a crypt. Gongcheong Station is preserved, frozen in time. The tiles are the muted pale green of the 1970s, cracked and water-stained. But what is most unsettling is the platform signage. It is heavily scored and clawed, as if someone or something attempted to systematically erase the station's name using physical force. On the trackbed, the rails are gone, meticulously removed, yet the gravel ballast remains undisturbed, hinting that whatever travels this line does not require wheels. And beneath the gravel, deep gouges mark the concrete, too precise to be random damage, too wide to be anything human.
As we move down the deserted platform, we find undeniable evidence of the catastrophic panicked evacuation. A woman's handbag lies on a bench, its contents spilled, lipstick, a crumpled bus ticket, and a family photo dated just weeks before the closure. Further down, near the stairwell leading to the non-existent exit, is a small, worn child's shoe, meticulously placed near the edge of the platform. These personal effects weren't forgotten, they were abandoned in the frantic rush to escape an unseen terror. This wasn't a planned closure, it was an emergency sealing, initiated while the station was still active and filled with panicked commuters attempting to escape something that arrived with the 4 a.m. train, just as the logbook warned.
The silence of Gongcheong is shattered by an impossibility. Deep within the tunnels, far beyond the darkness where the station should resume its line, we hear it, the distinct rhythmic rumble of a subway train approaching. It grows louder, closer, the vibrations shaking the very concrete we stand on. But this sound is wrong. It lacks the electrical hum of modern transit. Instead, it is a visceral grinding, heavy and mechanical, accompanied by a sound like hundreds of nails scraping metal. The light approaching is not the familiar white glare of a headlight, but a pulsating, sickly green glow. It is the 4 a.m. train, but it does not carry passengers. It carries the reason the station was erased, and it is slowing down, preparing to stop at its terminal.
We scramble toward the back wall, seeking refuge, realizing the train is not the danger, but the carrier of the danger. Scratched deeply into the concrete of the maintenance access door, perhaps by a desperate worker during the final hours, is a detailed sketch, not of a monster, but of geometry. It shows the station's layout overlaid with shifting, impossible spatial dimensions, detailing how the station was built on a temporal nexus, a place where the barrier between time and space dissolves. The final damning text scratched beneath the image reads, "It finds the geometry unstable. We must not allow the platform to be utilized." The entity using this station doesn't just travel the tracks, it feeds on the instability. And when a train stops here, the occupants are pulled out of sequence, out of existence.
The horrific truth has been uncovered, but our time is over. We have disturbed the silence, and the presence knows we are here. As the impossible sound of the phantom entity reaches the platform, the lights we carry begin to dim, starved of power by the destabilized environment. We must move, retreating through the same claustrophobic access shafts that once seemed so daunting, now feeling like a narrow lifeline. The air behind us seems to thicken, and the scraping sound is now faster, closer, no longer confined to the tracks. It is hunting us through the maintenance tunnels, determined to pull us back into the spatial anomaly of Gongcheong. The city sealed the station to protect the world outside, and we are now trapped between the surface and the cosmic dread it contained. We are back in the cold, indifferent night air of Seoul. The chaos we just endured is swallowed by the silence of the immense city, which runs on, oblivious to the terror hidden beneath its feet. Gongcheong Station remains sealed, a testament not just to a terrifying event,
but to the desperate lengths civilization will go to in order to quarantine the things that defy human understanding. When you ride the subway now, gliding through that brief, silent gap between stations, know that you are passing over a grave, and perhaps a mouth. The city tries to forget, but the evidence is there, humming softly under the concrete. We must remain vigilant. If this exploration terrified you and illuminated the shadows, don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on hidden histories and deep dive documentaries into the forbidden corners of the world. Remember, the truth often rides the midnight train.